And how do you use it? Basically, all superposition says is that you have to add together all electric forces on a charge. Okay, you got to add up all the electric forces on a charge. You add them all up. So, here's an example. Okay? Let's say that 3 people are wrestling each other, pushing each other, whatever you want to call it, doesn't matter. If I want to know the force on me, I have to figure out the force that person A pushes me with and the force person B pushes me with, and then I add them together. That's what we're going to do. You're going to have 3 charges. You're going to have to draw the forces and see what the forces are, okay? And then you're going to find out what the total is. So 3 charges lie along the x-axis at 0, 0.03, 0.05. Calculate the magnitude and the direction of the electric force on each of the 3 charges. Q1 is that, Q2 is the other thing, and Q3 is the third value. Okay. So, let's draw a diagram, and you need to draw a diagram for these. These are going to make no sense if you don't draw a diagram. So, draw a diagram for them. All you have to do is draw 3 charges. Write their positions, 0, 0.03, 0.05. And write their values. 6 times 10 to the negative 6. That's Q1. (1.5) times 10 to the negative 6. That's Q2. Negative 2 times 10 to the negative 6. That is Q3. There you go. Not so bad so far. It's because you're just waiting for the other shoe to drop. Okay. I want to find the forces on Q1. So I go to use my equation, F equals K Q1 Q2 over D squared, and you say to yourself, oh, there's 3 charges, but there's only 2 in the equation. So what do I do? Here's what's going on. Q1 has a force on it from Q2 and a force on it from Q3. I have to figure out the force on it from each, and I add them together. So for example, if I want to find the force on Q1, what I have to do is I have to take the force between 1 and 2 and add it to the force between 1 and 3. I have to find 2 forces. If I want to know how hard my friends push me, I have to know how hard each of them pushes me, and then I add it together. If I want to know how hard the force on Q1 is, I have to find the force from 2 and the force from 3 and add them together. Okay? So, how do we do that? F Q1 Q2 equals K Q1, which is actually Q1, 6 times 10 to the negative 6. Q2, which is 1.5 times 10 to the negative 6, divided by the distance between them. It is 0.3 to go, 0.03 to go between Q1 and Q2. So 0.03 squared. Go ahead and plug that in to make sure you're getting the right answer as me. I'm like, the math on these is kind of nasty until you get used to it. So plug it in your calculator and just make sure you're getting used to it. Okay, 90 newtons is what you should get. Okay, I've found the force between 1 and 2. So if I want to know what happens to 1, I first have to know what 2 does to it. I just found that 2 does 90 newtons to it. Now I've got to do what 3 does to it. So I'm going to solve this again. Q1, Q3 equals 9 times 10 to the 9th. Q1 is Q1. But Q2 this time is actually the value for Q3. Notice I'm not making it a negative 2. I'm just plugging in 2 times 10 to the negative 6. Divided by how far apart they are to go from 0 to 0.05 is 0.05. So plug that one in. $43.2. Okay, I figured out what happened because of charge 2. 90 newtons happened because of charge 2. I figured out what happened because of charge 3. 43.2 newtons happened because of charge 3. All I have to do now is add the two together. However, you have to be careful. You have to decide, does the charge push Q1 away or does it pull Q1 towards it? How do I figure that out? Opposites attract, like charges repel. So I look at Q1, and what is it? Positive. I look at Q2, what is it? Positive. So Q1 gets repelled. What direction is repelled away from Q2? Left. So what is the sign for, I did my colors backwards. This one I'm making green, this one I'm making blue. There we go. That's better. So it's going left. That means it's not 90 newtons, it's negative 90 newtons. Plus Q1, Q3. Q1, Q3 is 43.2. What direction is it? Q1 is positive, Q3 is negative. It's attracted. Which way does it go to be attracted to Q3? It goes to the right. So that is a positive 43.2. Negative 90 plus 43.2 is negative 46.8. And there it is. We just solved it. Woo! You guys aren't excited enough.
There's like 2 more parts to do.
Yeah, I kind of buried the lead. We're not done. No. Q2 and Q3 we have to do also. Now, I have good news. It's easier now. It is. No. Don't believe me? I'll show you. How do I find the force on Q2? The force on Q2 is going to be the force that Q1 does on it.
Yeah, we already got that.
And we've already done that one.
We'll already have done the other one when we get to
Exactly. So, I don't need to solve this again. I already did it. It's 90. Now I'm going to need to figure out the sign. We'll get there. But the number is done. Don't solve it again. You already did it. Don't solve it again. It's already found. Now, I do need to find the force between 2 and 3. So I'm going to do that now. 9 times 10 to the 9th. Q2 has a value of 1.5 times 10 to the negative 6. Q3 has a value of 2 times 10 to the negative 6. Again, it's negative 2, but I don't plug the negative into the equation. How far apart are they? To go from 0.03 to 0.05 is 0.02. So, plug the number in and solve. $67.5. Let's make this one red. Okay, I look at Q2 and I say to myself, what direction is Q2 going because of Q1? Q1 is positive. Q2 is positive. Which way does Q2 have to go to be repelled from 1? Right. Hey, Newton's third law. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. Oh, snap. Okay? In fact, I don't even need to do that. I just look at this and say, hey, this was negative 90. This has to be positive 90. What about Q2 and Q3? Q2 is positive. Q3 is negative. Opposites attract. That's also to the right. What's 90 plus 67.5? 157.5. We're almost done. All we have to do is Q3. Q3 is going to be the force between 1 and 2. Sorry, 1 and 3. And the force between 2 and 3. Hey, I already found the force between 1 and 3. It's 43.2. Don't solve it again. I also already found the force between 2 and 3. It's 67.5. Now I need to figure out the directions. Okay? Q3 is negative, Q1 is positive. Opposites attract. It means it's going to go towards Q1, which in this case is left. Q2 is positive, Q3 is negative, opposites attract. It's going to go towards Q2, so I draw an arrow to the left. Negative 67.5, negative 43.2. Combine those together, and you get negative, 110.7?